France has been in lockdown for over a month and a half. And for those of us who have been confined at home for weeks on end, well, it's been an adjustment to a new way of life. Now, for some, it's been the opportunity to read all of Proust's work and get their houses squeaky clean, while others have opted for lounging around on the sofa and binge-watching TV. Now, no judgment here, but what's certain is that it's taken a physical toll on many of us. And to find out more, let's join our very own Genie Godula. Hi, Genie. So you've been homeschooling your children. Have you been able to find time to work in some physical exercise?
I have. You do what you got to do, right? So my big lifesaver has been yoga. I've been doing yoga about once a day, one of the only ways to stay zen when we're doing homeschooling. I've also been going for lots of long walks in the evening and taking advantage of the time difference to check in with friends and family in the States. And for those of our viewers who want to try and learn a little French while they're working out, there are two great sites. One is with the French Foreign Legion that does these pretty brutal workout in confinement classes. And also the Paris City Hall has its own coach who's been giving classes as well for people who live in small Paris apartments. Flo, how about you? What have you been doing?
Well, I must admit, it's not really on par with the French Foreign Legion. At first, I was jump roping in my apartment, but my neighbor started complaining, which I completely understand. I actually ended up buying an indoor rowing machine, which was probably the best investment I've ever made in my adult life. I think I'll keep doing it beyond confinement. And I've been taking advantage of that 1 hour that we're allowed to get out and get some exercise in France. It has to be within a 1 kilometer radius of your house, but it's really a lifesaver, including for your mental health, I find. But 1 hour isn't actually all that much compared to the amount of walking we usually do.
For sure. And you can only do that run if you do it before 10 a.m. and after 7 p.m. But what is surprising to me in all of this is that apparently there's a study that came out that said French people haven't actually gained that much weight during confinement.
This is actually really surprising. It's a study that was carried out. I know, I've been eating a lot more than I usually do, perhaps stress eating, but this is a French company that makes connected devices like watches and scales. They carried out this study that actually found that on average, French people have gained 86 grams, which is the equivalent of half an apple. So it's not that much. Now, why are they gaining more weight? Well, apparently, according to the same study, French people are sleeping more, which is good for your metabolism.
Okay, I think I'm going to need a lot more sleep to make up for all the cookies we've been baking in my house. The other thing that's surprising is that people aren't drinking more either.
Absolutely. This is another surprising confinement fact, if you will. You'd think that with bars and restaurants closed, that there would be a run on alcohol, but actually the sale of alcohol has gone down. And this is surprising, especially when you see that the apéro, which is that very cherished pre-dinner cocktail that you have here in France, well, that is still going strong thanks to things like Zoom or Skype, etc. They're calling it the Skypeero, actually, and it's remained the institution that it has always been. Interestingly, it really depends on the kind of alcohol. Beer sales, for instance, are up, while champagne sales are way down. It seems like people don't have much to celebrate yet. The French government aims to start easing lockdown on May 11th, but in the meantime, people are encouraged to stay home. So what does Paris look like these days? Well, join me as I take you on a tour of the capital in confinement. It's spring in Paris. Usually at this time of the year, the capital is full of tourists and bustling with activity. But with the coronavirus lockdown underway, I wanted to take you on a tour of some of the emblematic sites of the capital to see what it's like.
Let's start at the Louvre. The most visited museum in the world is currently closed, like other monuments in Paris. But it's still a popular photo op for the rare Parisians who venture out. Meanwhile, on the adjacent Rue de Rivoli, traffic is light, as it is all around the capital.
I'm here at Place de la Concorde, which is a major roundabout in the heart of Paris, and it's usually crazy busy with tons of traffic. But as you can see, there's no one here today, so I can finally ride my bike through it and not be terrified.
It's unclear when institutions like the Eiffel Tower will open again. For now, parts of Paris feel like a ghost town, like here on the world-famous Champs-Élysées. The capital seems to be holding its breath, hoping for a triumphant comeback.